Hey y'all, it's Rainbow. So I'm going to do a reading today. I was just getting settled and I'm just grounding right now, trying to figure out which decks I'm gonna pull. So give me a momento. Burning a little bit of sage, a little bit of Palo Santo, and a little bit of lavender. There we go. Whew. Okay. I think I might pull from the Astro Soul Oracle deck. Today I was vibing with lapis lazuli pieces. These I really like. They feel very healing to me. I like to hold them in the palm of my hands. I could really feel the energy in the palm of my hands. They just feel really good and really healing. I also was working on a white candle today. I'm going to be burning another candle. I just finished burning a couple days ago the self-love candle that I had for myself, and it was very, very healing. I really enjoyed it. I still have the container here because I can still feel the energy. So I'll get rid of it when I feel that the energy has been used, but it's still on my desk. And so now I'm working on my next candle. I don't always work on candles back to back. Sometimes it's like a month or two in between. I really do just follow my intuition and follow my flow. So yeah, I cleansed the candle today and I let it sit out in the sun, and it got a little bit of moon today, but I have it on my desk now. And yeah, I'm really excited to work with it. Really excited to work with it. I have a lot of affirmations and a little bit nervous. This next candle that I'm working on is gonna be like basically affirmations surrounding giving myself permission to dream, giving myself permission to be in like this childlike mindset. And so that's pretty deep because I have learned to be very strategic, very detail oriented, very planning, very much in survival mode. So this next candle is just gonna be more about like dreaming and possibilities and loving and an energy of just like letting my guard down more. And that's gonna be like, whew, like making the candle for it is a whole different energy, of course, than like burning the candle, because you're putting your energy into it. So like in order to put my energy into it, I have to like go through those feelings too to like really integrate. And so it's just like, whew, it's a lot. It's a lot. But yeah, so I'm glad I talked about that a little bit. And that kind of confirmed to pull from this deck here, Astro Soul Oracle deck. I have two decks from this person, this and the Fortuna Tarot deck. Life, because it has the planets and zodiacs associated with each card on the card to like help you understand the energy of the card, and that's just invaluable. Any other deck that this person make, I'm gonna get it because the knowledge is just out of this world. So yeah. So let me just go ahead and ground and get into the energy. So I'm hearing Rapunzel, let your hair down. I'm really being called to look at the self-love candle that I was just talking about. And I'm getting like this really loving energy. This really, it's like loving and grounding at the same time. Feels like, I don't know, peace. Okay, peace. It feels like peace. Just imagine being in a loving and grounded place. And when I say grounded, I mean like it's safe. Like imagine being safe to be loved. I heard I'm excited. I'm also feeling this excitement. Imagine pink energy. Like this type of pink energy. Oh well, it looks different on camera. Never mind. But like this really soft pink energy. This is safe, loving, grounded. And I heard I'm excited. And it feels like looking forward to something. This excited, fun energy. Feels very childlike. And the affirmations: I am grounded, I am safe, I am at peace, just came. I am safe, I am grounded, I am at peace. I am safe, I am grounded, I am at peace. I am safe, I am grounded, I am at peace. I feel like I have a couple more cards in here. I'm also hearing nobleman. Nobleman. The word casting. The word casting came out to me too, and it feels like I'm also getting casting a spell, but I'm seeing like a hook or like a fishing rod when you cast something and you have intentions on reeling it in or pulling it in, and it feels like manifestation type of energy. Like I said, I heard casting a spell as well, but it feels like manifesting. It feels like calling out to and bringing in. So we have surrender here in reverse. I also heard sacred. I'm not sure if it was sacred entity, or it also sounded like it was saying synchronicity. So we also have sextile in reverse, and we have Venus. So sextile says integration, cooperation, tools, skills, ingenuity, harmony, empathy. So it feels like it's gonna be some work with this sextile card. It feels like a challenge, and it feels very, very sensitive as well. It feels kind of like the energy of what I was describing with integrating, like making this candle, and like integrating your energy with the candle. So like, I like to put affirmations on my candles. So like an example would be, I love myself. So I have my candle, I cleanse my candle. My affirmation that I want to put on is I love myself, and I meditate with that affirmation, and I meditate with that candle to integrate it. And I really go through the whole motions of actually truly feeling and addressing any emotions that come up with me saying I love myself. What relationship do I have with that affirmation, with those words? So I'm feeling like a challenge energy with this sextile card in reverse. And it's not even a bad thing, but it does feel, like I said, very sensitive. It feels like, kind of like what I was saying with this card, like with my whole idea for my next candle. It just feels like this is kind of like gonna be a really big step for me, integrating this. Like I said, I've been in survival mode. I'm a planner, I'm strategic, I save. I'm one of those, like, I'm not a penny pincher, but like I will definitely always, where I was in a place where I will always like stash. And sometimes saving can be just as limiting as just spending, because you're not living in the moment. You're not appreciating the moment because you're anticipating something to happen. And we all know about the mindset and how we think and how our actions can validate and bring in more things. So like if I'm just saving, penny pinching, saving, and not living in the moment, then I am not, welcoming abundance into my life, because I'm living in survival mode. I'm living in a state of scarcity. So yeah, so that's why we have surrender in reverse. And surrender card says, this is the house of intuition and the unconscious. This is the 12th house. Here is where we can see transcendent experiences, hospitals, prisons, secret agendas, and hidden enemies, as well as unknown possibilities and one's weaknesses. This house is also associated with long-term confinement, seclusion, and psychic abilities. I just heard surrender to what is. That feels scary. Surrender to what is. That is something that I've been learning. It's like if you have a fear of something, like say you fear being alone, you fear not finding a partner, and that feels deep too. You have a fear of not finding a partner, being alone. As scary as it is, it's like you have to go through that emotion. You have to address it. It can be very beneficial to meditate on that and really think of, like, because it is a possibility, everything's a possibility. What would that mean if I never found the love of my life? Like, what would it really mean? Like, what does being alone mean? Does that mean that your life is no longer worth it? Now, I am a firm believer that if it's on your heart to have a partner, that it's meant for you. But we also have to address this loneliness or this fear of loneliness at the same time, because when you do get into a relationship, that imprint of that energy is going to bleed into your relationship once you do get one. Even if it means like you and your significant other have a minor argument or something like that, but it's like it's something that you need to be able to articulate or communicate to them that is a legitimate boundary to you, but you're afraid to let them know or communicate that to them because in the back of your mind you feel like, well, if they can't meet this, or if they're not willing to meet that, what would that mean for me? Would that mean that they would leave me and I would be alone? And it's like, you can't be willing to suppress that part of you that needs something in a relationship, or be afraid to communicate that for fear of them leaving you. Like, you can't, it's not going to be healthy for you or your relationship if you still have these thoughts of like, I can't be alone. So that's why it's really important to address it. And I know some people might feel like, well, if I really put into thought, like, what if I was alone, or I get to a position where I accept the possibility of me being alone, that means that I'm telling the universe that I do want to be alone. That's not what it means. It just means that there's a part that you have to be able to accept for yourself. If this is not the right person for you, if this is not the right time for you, if this is not the right circumstance for you, or if this is not conducive for your energy in this relationship. So it's like, it's a lot to consider. And I think that's why I felt so sensitive this sextile, because it's like integrating. There's parts of ourselves that we have to integrate. Remember, like, we're not looking for someone to be our other half. It's two wholes that come together and create another beautiful energy. Everybody is whole all by themselves, and each person respects the other person's autonomy. So yeah. Then we got this Venus energy, and it feels really good. It feels really good, and it feels like solid and promising. It feels solid in the sense that this is something that you want, and this is something that you can have, and this is something that can manifest in the physical realm, but not necessarily solid. Definitely physical, but just like, think of like a plant or soil or the ground. Like, okay, it's like fertile ground. Think of like fertile ground. Like, it's solid and it's physical, but it also has so much possibilities for growth, for change, for creation. And with this, what I heard was casting. It's like you casting. This is a part of you casting. You addressing the issues, and you being able to dive into yourself and really, acknowledge some of the fears that you have is also a part of casting out and manifesting. It's not just about making a candle and oh, this is gonna bring me what I want. Like, I mean, I guess you can do that. I know that, I do think that there's a certain way that we should go about doing certain things. We can make a love spell candle or whatever type of candle, a money candle, but like, if we're not addressing the root, if we're not addressing, like, that's the thing that I was talking about earlier. It's like, I see so many people, and not to bash anyone, but like, so many people are making money candle, And maybe they do work, but it's like if we're not addressing, like I said earlier, this survival that I have in me that feels like I have to save, or I can't spend, or I can't live in the moment, that kind of stuff has to be addressed. And if I'm making a money candle just to bring stuff in, but when I get it, I'm too scared to spend it, it's not balanced. It's not like a holistic type of thing going on. We want to be holistic. We want to be addressing the root of our issues too. It's like kind of like you know how they say more money, more problems. Like, yeah, a lot of people, we already know, so many people have said it before, you think because you're a celebrity, or when you get X amount of dollars, or you get this car or this career or this job, or this significant other, or like me, I want a puppy so bad. Like, I've always wanted a dog, and now I'm an adult and I live by myself, and I'm still not in a position where I can get a puppy. But I'm manifesting it, even if it means putting a whole bunch of shit in my I have like a little what is it called? You can make a little category on my Amazon list, and I'm already picking out what type of shampoo do I think is gonna be good for my puppy. What type of leash do I want for it? What type of bed do I want for it? That's a part of casting. That's a part of casting. I'm putting my intentions out because I'm not ready. I don't know if I have the space for it right now. I don't know if I have the money for it right now. You know, the vet bills and everything, or just the space, or it just simply not being the time. And we can kind of get caught into, like, we can get caught into thinking it's never gonna happen, it's never gonna happen. But like, one thing that I really learned with manifesting things in my life is that you can work on what you're waiting on. And a part of manifesting is doing little things like that. Like I said, making a little list of what does your ideal day look like. That's why I started off my journey. What does an ideal day look like for me? And I wrote it down, and I tell you guys, like, I am so blessed. My ideal day looked like, and it was like 2 years later. And back in, like, before I was even, I think like a senior year in high school, I would write down what I wanted in a partner. And guys, it was 6 years later. And that's the thing, like, we do have to respect time. 6 years later, the love of my life. But like, there was so much that I had to work on. And so it's just like, I know we can get discouraged, and I know things can feel so far. Things can feel so far away from us. But like, I promise you, there's always something that you can be doing towards what you're casting for. There's so much that you can do, whether it's writing it down, making a candle, addressing your traumas related to it, volunteering. I know when I said, like, I wanted a partner, and I just knew that it wasn't the time, or I just knew that it wasn't going to be anytime soon, I was like, I don't know when I'm going to get the partner or the love of my life or meet them, but I know that if I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing with my life, that I will magically put myself in a position. I'll be in that position to receive them. And that's an important thing about manifesting. It's just like, one thing that I always say is like, what do I usually say? Oh, like, will your blessings recognize you when they see you? Or will you recognize your blessings when you see them? It's a double sided coin for me, because it's like, sometimes we can get the things that we've been asking for, but we won't even recognize it because we didn't even do the work. We will like literally not see it. We're like, that could not be him. That could not be him, because the love of my life would not be driving that type of car. And you could like totally look over that person, or not give them a chance, not knowing they're gonna be a billionaire 5 years from now. Or not even that they have to be that, or that they could just be the most loving, decent person, because you didn't do the work with the time that you had. I know waiting sucks, but there's literally so much that you can do. Working on yourself, setting your intentions, knowing what you want, And there's going to be so many dummies that come your way, and you're going to have to be able to decipher, and you're going to have to be able to have the discernment. So like I said, like, what if you meet somebody and they do have that car or they do have that money? Does that mean that's him? Period. So yeah, I definitely appreciate these first 3 cards, because that's exactly what it felt like. Surrender. I surrender. Surrendering to the hurt that you feel right now. Surrendering to the loneliness that you feel right now. Surrendering to the fears that you have right now. I don't know if I'm repeating myself. It's kind of like channeling. Like, surrendering to like the way that you feel. It's okay that you feel that way. Like, I know a lot of people be like, you need to work on yourself. And like, sometimes even just people telling you, like, I am working on myself. I do love myself. Just because I want a partner doesn't mean I don't love myself. It's okay to long for someone. That, and like I said earlier, the fact that you feel that way, that you long to be with someone, I would say that you are meant to be with someone, just because that's something that you want, that's something that you desire. But that doesn't mean that our vision of how we think that it's going to play out might not necessarily be that. So that's why we have to do the work in the meantime to make sure that when it does come, that we're prepared for it. I heard, I don't want to hurt myself. Ooh, that's deep. Then we have the Moon card here. Okay. We have Sagittarius here. We have the last quarter. Here. Transition, letting go, forgiveness, adaptation. Okay. With this card, it just feels very much like going through the motions, accepting. It also feels like accepting, like I said, the time. I gave you a couple of examples of some of the things that I've manifested. Like I said, for the love of my life, it took 6 years, and I had to honor that time. For the one where I said, what does an ideal day look like for me? 2 years. But this feels like respecting the challenge, respecting that day to day. My first YouTube channel that I made, like, it has to be, yeah, I made it in like 2010. It was called Miss Day Today. It's deleted now, but Miss Day Today, because it was like, for me, it was like almost agonizing. It was just like literally day after day after day. Every day was a challenge. Every day was like just another day. That's what it felt like. And so with this card, I'm feeling like very much just like I said, respecting the time. It's so easy to get lost into thinking that it's not gonna happen. It's not happening. It is happening, as long as you're happening. As long as, like I said, you're casting out, and I want you to throw it out far. Like, that's another thing. Like I said, with this candle that I'm making, I'm learning how to dream. I'm learning how to be childlike. I'm learning how to be more open and more optimistic. That's hard for me. And so, like, whatever, with your dreams or whatever, write down exactly what you want, and don't hold back. Don't be modest. Like, aim for the stars. Like me, like, I want to live by the beach. that could be expensive. I like, if you look at my bank account now, you're like, where? What beach? Who? You? Like, but it's just like, I want to live by the beach. I want the weather to be so beautiful. I want to have a beautiful balcony. I want my house to be filled with artwork, like handcrafted artwork. I want this type of floors. I want these type of couches. I want, and on top of all that, I want to be at home every day. I don't want to be in a call center. Like, just like for some people, like for me, like I'm saying with dreaming and stuff, it could feel like I could feel the muscle in my chest, like, ugh. Like, you think you could have that? And respecting, like I said, it feels sensitive. Respecting and addressing those emotions that you feel, like in your heart right now, you might truly feel like, girl, like that, but like actually sitting with it, marinating with it, going through all those emotions. Let, like, all the doubts, go ahead and feel them. Go ahead and feel them and let them flow. So yeah, respecting time, respecting that day to day, still showing up for yourself. Then we have Juno in reverse, and it says sacred union. Sacred union, and it's in reverse, and it feels like back to, I think this might be like a relationship thing, or some, like I said, someone is wanting love but feeling far away from love, or just feeling like they're running out of time, or like that it's never gonna happen. This loneliness, feeling like it's not gonna happen. It's nobody out there for you, or you just don't know where they are. You have no idea. Just feeling stranded, deserted almost. With this sacred union in reverse, it feels like you are being encouraged and reminded that to be in union with yourself. And I know some people may not want to hear that, but like I said earlier, it's very, very important that when you do come across these opportunities, that you are willing to stand up for yourself. You don't want to be in a position where you finally get into a relationship and it's not actually the one, and it's actually just another part of your journey, or the universe checking to see to make sure that you still wanted what you said you wanted. Because the universe be doing that. They were like, okay, I'm gonna send them this person, and I want them to know, I want to see if they recognize if it's real or not. I want to see if they can stand up for themselves. I want to see if they know how to set boundaries. I want to see if they can spot a fraud. I want to see if they're going to stay true to who they are. I want to see if they remember what they put down, what they wrote down. You remember what you wrote down? I don't think this looked like that list. That type of energy. So it's reminding us, like, the most important union is the union that you have with yourself. Learning yourself, loving yourself. And like, even if it is that the first person that you meet, even if that is the person, like, you need to do this for them too. You need to do this for them. They need you to be your whole person, because you can't love somebody when you're not whole. It's really, really hard. Trust me, I know. It's really, really hard to love someone else when you don't love yourself. And like, honestly, being in a relationship and having those type of problems, I won't say it's better or worse than being alone, but like, it ain't easy, and it's tough, and it doesn't feel good at all. When you actually love someone, but you're having a hard time doing it because you can't get past yourself, because you didn't spend enough time on working on yourself, stop. You don't want those type of problems. So if anything else, do it for yourself, but it's like, if you can't do it for yourself, remind yourself that you're doing it for your loved one too. You're doing it for them, for your significant other, to love yourself. You owe it to them to love yourself so that you could properly love them. So then we have I relate, which came out sideways. This is the house. This is the seventh house. This is the house of partnerships. Here is where we can see the personal relationships that involve commitment or cooperation of some sort. Marriage, spiritual union, agreements, societies, and business partnerships. That's crazy. This is a relationship thing. So I'm really glad. I'm hearing union. Something about this moon card feels very, I don't know. It feels very suspect. Very sus. Just a little sus. Yeah. It feels like I heard boring. Like, it feels like to you, it's just like you're so focused on wanting to love someone else or wanting to be in a relationship. You're just like, I don't want to focus on myself. That's boring. Like I've been alone for X amount of years. Like, what else do I need to learn about myself type of energy? Like that type of energy that'll get me like, it feels like, I don't know if you guys are in quarantine and you're just like tired of being alone. Like, it's just like, that's the last thing that you want to do. And I feel for you. Trust me, I feel for you. But about the moon, the thing about the moon is there's so much, you guys, I was just talking about this with my partner. Like, we don't even know what the other side of the moon looks like. The moon is such a mysterious thing. And the thing with this is just like, you're so bored with yourself, but you haven't even scratched the surface of yourself. Like, there's so much you don't even know about yourself. You, like, stop. I don't know if you're in high school. I'm getting kind of like high school vibes, but you might not be. You don't have to be. But like, it's just like, girl, dude, like, there's so much stuff that I just heard magical. There's so much magical stuff about you that you don't even, like, if you don't learn, go somewhere and learn about yourself, like, stop. There's so many magical things. And that's the thing. That's the other thing. I didn't even talk about, I said two sides of the coins. The other thing is just like, well, I guess it goes with, will your blessings recognize you when they see you? Will your partner recognize when you see you? Because, like, from what I could see, there's a lot of stuff that you don't know about yourself, and that could come out and so express itself in so many ways. Like, what if you're not even dressed the way that you should have been dressed when they see you? Like, because you haven't put in the work for, like, to truly express your style and your creativity the way that, like, you should, or like the way that you would actually, your authentic self would want to. And so, like, they're not even attracted to you because, like, I don't know, you're like, I don't know, you haven't even gotten to that level of yourself yet where you express yourself. That's just an example. Physically, you don't even, like, express yourself in the way that where they would recognize you. And if you, like, believe in reincarnation or, like, soul contracts and stuff, like, I guess we could call it a theory where people feel like if you have a soulmate and we write down everything that we write down, certain points of our lives and, when we're going to meet our partners at certain times of our life, like, imagine missing that mark because you didn't put in the work. Like, you better stop. You better quit playing. If you got time, if you're alone, trust me, it's because you need that time. That's what I try to tell myself. Because trust me, there's things that I want to happen too. And I just be like, I don't understand why it's not happening now. So trust me, I'm in the same boat with other things. But it's just like, I try to tell myself, like, obviously there's something that I haven't learned yet. Obviously I have not used all the tools or all the resources available to me at this time. Obviously I need this time that I have by myself. So obviously there's something that I need to be doing right now. That's what I tell myself. So maybe that might be helpful to you. So we have Lilith, repressed desires. And I also heard fears. Repressed desires, repressed fears. The word burglar is coming up. Burglar? Wow. That's interesting. We also have the second house, which is Taurus and Venus. This is the house of resources, material possessions, and values. Here is where we see our belongings, wealth, and finances, as well as the pillars on which material, intellectual, and emotional security is developed. I have. And this came out kind of tilted. It was kind of tilted, kind of sideways. This is what the card looks like. Sorry, my camera's not that well. But yeah, definitely getting, you know, value. Value is coming up. What do you value? Like I said earlier, there's certain things, like I said, the universe will send you, not to trip you up, but just to make sure that you remember what you asked for. And if it's not what you asked for, are you going to settle? Remembering your value, and remember the values that you're looking for in other people, and what's actually important to you, and you taking into consideration, you know, what you need in a relationship as well. Are you going to sacrifice it, or are you going to stand by your needs? Because I've been in a lot of situations, like when I was, like I said, it took 6 years. It was about 6 years before, you know, when I set my intentions for my partners. And I had a lot of different people that I met, and sometimes it was just like, sometimes it looked like they kind of fit the picture, they kind of fit the bill, but not quite. But it's just like, I don't know, and it's gonna be like that sometimes. And it's just like, you really have to have that discernment. Sometimes it might, you know, not saying that they have to have everything on your list, but it's just like, it's just certain things. You just gotta have that discernment, bruh. You just gotta have that. You gotta be grounded and rooted. And that's exactly why it takes time. It's casting. You're throwing out your best intentions for yourself. What is everything that you want? What is everything that you need? What are you willing to be? And as far out as you can cast it. And, you know, the further that you're casting out, because you want the best, it might take some time to reel that bitch back in. Okay? And sometimes you pull up something, you got a bite, and sometimes you get a bite and you gotta throw it back. What you gonna do? So we also have the ninth house. Is this the ninth house? Yeah, the ninth house. This is the house of higher and elevated thought as well as expansion. It covers long distance travels, foreign languages, inspiration, optimism, publications, higher education, spirituality, philosophy, religion, ideals, morals, and ethics. Yeah, so I know. And we had Chiron come out. Both of these cards, we have a lot of cards that is coming out sideways. We had the 7th house came out sideways. We had Lilith with repressed desires came out sideways. Chiron, and which is the wounded healer. And we have the 9th house sideways, letting us know that this is a choice, or these are challenges, or the decisions that we make based around these topics can change our trajectory for me as a reader. So with this, with Chiron coming out, it's acknowledging that this is a sensitive topic for you. Like I said, for me, you know, this next candle that I'm working on is sensitive. It's personal, okay? It's something that I've learned how to survive around. And while the survival that I used helped me in so many years, I no longer need it anymore. And because of that, I now have, it's time for me to heal that part of me. And it's funny, like, that's why this last quarter came out, because we have wounds, we have experiences. We're like the Fool card. The Fool card is just like, I just want to have an experience. I just need to get something popping. I just know I gotta move from here. It's in my spirit. It's time for something new. And then we go and explore, and then we get hurt because we didn't know anything. We didn't have any experience. We didn't have anything to go off of. Then you get hurt, and you like, hold up. We've been there before. But yeah, so it's like, well, shit, this is not a game, because my heart got hurt. So then we learn how to keep pushing forward with those injuries that we have. And we learn that having our guard up is important at times. And sometimes we overuse that. So then we go to the next phase of our lives, because things change, circumstances change, we change, the people around us have changed. So even though we sometimes treat the new people in our life, because we still have our guard up because we don't want to get hurt, like, we're in a whole different environment, and that stuff that we needed to survive back then is not what we need now. So with this last quarter card coming out, which said transition, letting go, forgiveness, adaptation, is acknowledging that we have to be able to adjust and change and let our guards down and learn how to open up again with this Chiron. Letting us know that this is a wound, this is sensitive, this is... So yeah, I know. For me, with this I know card, it feels like I said, being encouraged to acknowledge that we are in another space and time. We have changed. Maybe even if we do have some of the same people that are in the life, they may have changed, allowing other people to change as well. But also the people around us have changed, and we can't continue to react the same way. But for this specific card, I know is like allowing our philosophy to change, allowing, I'm hearing trajectory, allowing our trajectory to change, allowing our subconscious to change, like reprogramming our subconscious, our mind. We have to work on our mind as well. our mindset. It's a lot into this manifestation. Like, it's a lot of factors that we got to address. Then we have the first house, which has Aries and Mars. I am. This is the house of the self and identity. Here is where we can see one's personality, behavior, character, physical appearance, as well as their attitude towards life. It starts with a sign known as the ascendant. Yeah. So who are you? I feel like this is complementing the 9th house card. I know. It's like, who am I now? Who am I now? It's like, who do I want to be? Who am I now? And who am I going to be once I actually do get into this situation? And like I said, are you going to switch up? Are you going to change? Are you going to throw your boundaries away? Are you going to throw away some things on your list that you wrote down on your list if you finally get a partner and they don't end up being what you thought? Are you going to, oh, well, you know, that was on my list, but it wasn't that important. Who are you? Are you going to stay true? So we have stellium, reinforcement and concentration. That's that casting. Reinforcement and concentration. Respecting the time, respecting that day-to-day process, working on what you're waiting on. Reinforcement and concentration. Then we have Uranus. This is definitely lining up. Like, that's beautiful. I appreciate this reading. Thank you so much to my spiritual team for helping me with these readings. I really, really appreciate it, and it's an honor. So we have Uranus, innovation, discovery, individuality, technology. I'm hearing respecting time, but it feels like, or I should say, and it feels like I said earlier, like when you do manifest things, it's just like, it's gonna be what you want, but also better. And sometimes better looks different than what you thought. Like, it's just gonna be that, but better. Like, I can't describe it. And it's just like, that's why you have to have discernment, because it's gonna be different. It's gonna shake you up in ways that you didn't even realize. It's gonna play out in ways, and that's giving the universe respect for what you asked for. Because it's like, I don't know how to describe what I want to say. It's just like still being able to see the value. Sometimes you're going to be required to still see the value in what you asked for, even though it didn't look exactly. Man, this shit is tricky, bruh. So yeah, this is beautiful. I love this for you. You just gotta have discernment. It's a wonder. It's a wonder you can manifest at all sometimes, bro. Shit is tricky. So we have Gemini in reverse. And with this Gemini in reverse, it feels like, feeling like some gossip energy or some talk energy. I'm hearing rumors. I don't know, some kind of talking energy. It's weird. It's kind of all over the place. We have Jupiter in reverse. Expansion, gratitude, morality, enlightenment. Yeah, I'm definitely feeling heavy on the gratitude. It just feels like I'm hearing abundance, and it feels like just like I said earlier, working on, in regards to working on what you're waiting on, still seeing the value in where you are right now. Like I said, when you just want something really bad, sometimes it could be really hard to like appreciate what you have and where you are right now. But there's so many other things going on in your life. Like, love is one aspect of our life, but we simply cannot make it everything, and we can't stop. Like, there's literally so many other areas of life. We can't just sit around and wait on love. I can guarantee you that you won't even receive love if you just sit around and mope and wait on love, because like there's so many other things that we have to do. We have to put ourselves in a position to receive. And it's like, if you're not focused on your children, or you're not focused on your family, or you're not focused on your career, or you're not focused on your creativity, or you're not focused on the community, or you're not focused on your health, or you're not focused on your self-care, you're not focused on your mental health, or you're not focused on, there's so many things to focus on. It's like there's too many other things, there's too many other factors to like some people say, put all your eggs in one basket. You can't put all your eggs in one basket. There's too many other areas of life to think that to drop everything else or let everything else pass you by waiting to be in a relationship, when like so many of those other areas can be used to help put yourself in a position to get in a relationship. Like, who's to say, hi booby, who's to say you won't meet this person at your job, or doing a hobby, or that like your hobby could lead to a convention where you'll meet the love of your life, you know, or just hanging out with your friends. Like, there's so many other areas of life that could help. Like, give, that's the other thing that's coming through right now. Give, we have to, when we cast our intentions, we have to give spirit something to work with. When we're not doing what we need to do with our lives, or we stop and put everything else on hold, we're not giving them all the stuff that's going on in the background. We're not giving them anything to work with. There's so many ways that they can send you the love of your life. But if we're not focusing on those things, it's just like, how are they gonna send them to us? How? We have Cancer in reverse. Like, it's just like a lot. It's a lot of emotions. Like, we got so many emotions. We have the sextile, was like really emotional, very sensitive. We have Chiron here. Like, you're hurt. Your heart is hurt. We had Lilith, repressed emotions. We had Sacred Union in reverse. So like, already from the reading, it's just like we had the Moon card and so many things about yourself, magical things about yourself that you haven't even discovered yet. Like, you got a lot. You got a lot from what I can see. You got a lot to look at, to play with, to dive into. We have the 8th card, which came out sideways. This is the house of life's enigmas, transformation, the hidden, sexuality, and death. Here's where we can see someone else's property and money, real estate, inheritance, and investments. We can also see our deepest unrevealed wishes, as well as fears, occultism, and esotericism. The word nuances came through. So let's look and see what that word means. Nuances. nuances. Nuance. A subtle or slight degree of difference, as in meaning, feeling, or tone gradation. Expression or appreciation of subtle shades of meaning, feeling, or tone. To treat or consider with nuance. Okay. Excuse me. Nuances. I'm hearing degradation. What does that mean? Degradation, the act or process of degrading, the state of being degraded, degeneration, a decline to lower condition. So with that, I did get this kind of feeling earlier in the reading, but it do just feel like I was just feeling like this really I guess it's a form of low self-esteem, but it's just like what we talked about earlier, like if you finally get in a relationship, if there's certain things that you want, not being in a position where you're too afraid to, if they're not willing to give that to you, are you going to be strong enough to walk away, or are you gonna settle? And so with this 8th house card, it just feels like that is a challenge for you. I do feel like you may be like I said, you might want something so bad that you don't want to, like you're afraid to, it's like kind of being afraid to negotiate, or being afraid to let your boss know, like, hey, this is what I need. Or if your boss is like being mean to you, being afraid to stand up to them because you think you're going to lose your job. So you just continue day after day allowing them to talk to you in a poor manner because you don't want to be in a worse state, or you feel like they have more power over you or something like that. So that is something that I am seeing that you definitely need to work on if you're dealing with that. If you're afraid to speak up for yourself, or it just also feels like you don't value yourself as much or something. And I was kind of picking that up with the moon card, like with you just being so eager to love someone else, not realizing that you need you to love you more. So it just feels very hurt, and I really need you. Like, this is not gonna work if you do not value yourself more. You need to value yourself more. You need to write down and find out what type of relationship you want. If you want an exclusive relationship, I need you to not settle and be in an open relationship when you get an opportunity to be in a relationship. I need you to tell that person that, no, that's not what I want, and that's not, I'm not doing that, and being able to walk away and trusting that what you casted out is still coming to you. Just because you tell that person no, or just because that person, because you'll also get where you'll say, no, I can't do that, and the person will be like, oh, well, this is not going to work then. That does not mean you should have said yes because they left. That's good that they left. So just being able to do that for yourself, it's going to be worth it. It's going to be okay. I promise. I promise. Then we have waxing gibbous, alignment, refinement, nurture, patience, evolution. You got this. Like, I ain't even gotta say nothing else about that card. Then, top of the deck energy, I create. 5th house, this is the house of self-expression and the pleasure of showing who we truly are. Here we see one's creativity and artistic vision, how we look to have fun, playfulness, and pleasure, games of chance, love affairs, and also children. I create. With you casting, with you setting your attentions, that is creating space. That's creating space. Creating space is also creating possibilities, creating room for possibilities, for things to happen, for things to manifest, for things to grow. Going back to this Venus card, this one of the first 3 cards, remember I said it feels solid, then I said it feels physical, and then I said it feels fertile. It feels like things can grow, possibilities can happen. So trusting that I create. So remember to set your intentions, write down what you want, know that it's not going to be exactly, but know that you're going to be doing the work so that you have the discernment that even when you do get a blessing and it doesn't look exactly how you thought it would, but you have that discernment, you're grounded in your self-value, and you remember your values and what you want so that you can see past the superficial, and you can recognize when you're on fertile ground or not. Okay. Okay. So yeah, I'm just trying to see. I guess I'll pull a couple more cards from you from the Threads of Fate Oracle, Shadow Edition. I love this deck. I'll pull a couple cards for you. Oh. Okay. So we have Outlaw, and it feels like having the courage to be 100% your most authentic self, regardless of the situation, regardless of other people's opinions, regardless if someone is willing to walk out on you. We have Get Wild. I'm hearing the word creativity. So, and I'm also hearing artistic. So definitely use your creativity. That's a good way to like get through this very lonely stage that you're in. Find a way to get creative. When I started a YouTube channel. You might want to draw. You might want to go bowling. You might want to, make candles. Anything. Find something to get creative. Being creative is very, very important. Having a hobby is very, very important. Playing basketball, it doesn't matter. Skating. We have self-love. This is for you, baby. Self-love. Self-love. Higher perspective with that 9th house that came out. Higher perspective. This is your discernment. This is you remembering who you are. This is remembering your intentions. This is setting them high. Setting your intentions high and patiently waiting for them and expecting them. We have strength. Being solid. Like, bet on yourself, dude. Bet on yourself. If somebody is willing to walk away from you, Have the strength. Be rooted. It's coming. We have to respect time. It's coming. Don't give up on yourself. Don't think that this is the end all be all. Be rooted. I want you to be so rooted. That's why we got earlier with the very first card. No, the second card, the sextile in reverse. It feels sensitive. And it says integration, cooperation, tools, skills, ingenuity. I want you to be, when I talked about setting your intentions into the candle, you got to integrate that with yourself. You have to repeat those affirmations to yourself. It's going to feel very uncomfortable. Repeat it to yourself. It might take a couple of days. Work on it, work on it, work on it, work on it. I want you to, when you set your intentions, to be so rooted that can't nobody shake you. Release. We have release. Releasing those fears. Got a lot of cards. Shadow. Addressing that shadow. Like I said, you got a lot of things to work on. We got a whole moon card. A whole bunch of self-discovery. And we had this Lilith. Deep repression. What did it say? Repressed desires. You got a whole lot of shadow work that you could be doing, utilizing the time that you have right now. And get curious. Get curious. Being loving, being open, expecting. Most importantly, expecting. Expecting, like truly believing that this is gonna be like, I just feel like I'm very worried. Like, I don't want you to get scared and think like it's not happening. It's happening. It's happening. But you gotta be, you can't, like, you're reeling it in. You setting intentions is casting it, but you gotta reel it in. That means doing the work, doing the shadow work, respecting your boundaries, working on yourself, addressing your issues, learning how to be authentic, learning this self-love. That's reeling it in. Working on addressing all the areas of your life, not neglecting other areas of your, that's reeling it in. So yeah, I hope this reading helped. I truly enjoyed it, and I'm so happy for you. I'm rooting for you. Like, you can do this. Like, this is not above you. Just don't give up on yourself. Respect that day-to-day process. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I love you. Goodbye.